Hello, long time no see. I know. 2 years without a single video posted. It's bad. It frustrates me just how much it frustrates you, everyone. I wasn't expecting fate to welcome such an outcome, but at this point, anything can happen. Regardless of my long-awaited comeback, in which I'm going to elaborate soon, I hope all of you are fine. Before I begin yapping, I recently opened up donations. For those who want to support me, you can do so by checking the link down in the description. It would mean a lot. I know donations should have stayed, because back then there was one time that I had set up donations with the help of a family member years ago. Now their help is no longer needed. Instead, I've done setting up a better way for donations for myself. Without further ado, let's get back to the main topic. It's a long story. Many things have happened to me in life, especially mood swings were the worst. Not to mention burnout. I began working in a big project of mine that had started being in development since October 23rd of 2022. And the reason I wanted to become a developer is because, it's obvious. JaizKoys and his creations back then. There used to exist many plans for Nightmare Universe due to my involvement, but those plans have been scrapped.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
Besides that, all had started because I got it a challenge in one of the boss fights in Finished Nightmare. That being Hyper Cream vs Exetior, the C+ ending. Some people already know what this is about. For those who don't know, all that so-called challenge was that Exetior's HP was increased and the game's version was called FN Kostas Exclusive. Version 1, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was not so bad, but if you ever got the chance to try version 2, not gonna lie, it was quite intense. After I beat that boss fight successfully, I remember asking Jaiz to kind of modify the ending scene by including some intense stuff. Although he had refused, and I understand why. He had stuff to do, he could not have the time to do it. Then that was the time I've said to myself, you know what, Kostas, I guess you should really try to become a developer. Just like how the young you had dreamed of. And guess what? It worked. I've created a version 3 of that challenge, although to this day it's still unfinished and unfortunately scrapped. Version 3 had potential to be validly something extraordinary. Not to mention, the C- ending would have taken a different turn of events back then. Cream would be pushed to use the power of the Emerdudes at its maximum, including the Master Emerald's power to perform the Hyper Fleet waveform. Extreme overkill for base from Exetior. I know, Chad.
Let's see, the electromagnetic thermocoupling is attached to the fabulating oscillator. Can that be right? That can't be right.
At the end of the day, it would still lead to Cream dying. Although, back then in summer of 2022, I was just a beginner in development. Therefore, I couldn't be able to proceed in finishing that game. If I had to remake that game with my today's skills, I would have finished it without signs of annoyance. Maybe one day I will get to show to all of you, let alone even give you version 1 and version 2 to try out for yourselves. Some of my close friends had given those versions a try before too. After I've scrapped version 3, I've decided to try and make another game, my today's project, that its focus would be different compared to the Kostas exclusive. Although at first the project had some similarities, let alone references from the Kostas exclusive. I can't yet reveal of that game, although if you've seen sneak peeks from some of my community posts, then awesome, I guess. I'll also mention that this project, especially in its early days, used to sometimes satisfy me, and at the same time the other way around. It's why the project's past versions had ended up a failure, causing a major burnout increase, making it even tougher for me to proceed further. It's been going on like this for 4, close to 5 years straight.
Damn!
I just never brought it up publicly until today. Thankfully, at the moment, I finally figured out how to finish the project and proceed on the upcoming ones in the future. Especially, I'm giving all my thanks and extreme gratitude to Storm Dev for the most part that he had given me the idea and motivation to get back in this project back in May 2024, and that he also helped me with it. Thank you, Storm. So be sure to subscribe to my man, because if it weren't for him, probably this project too wouldn't end up scrapped. As for my mental health, for now, I guess I'm doing alright. You know, dealing with life, etc, etc. You know, don't worry. The reality is that the start of this year was utterly for me. I kid you not, guys. Like, hold up. So, let me continue elaborating. So, I had to go through a lot for the game, and IRL stuff included. I used to work on the game on Game Maker 8.2, and sadly, yet obviously, I had received a huge damage. The game couldn't put up due to out-of-memory issues. To be fair, I overkilled it with the amount of content, so I guess that's karma for me. Either way, the word suffering no longer exists in my vocabulary after all I've been through in life, therefore it's fine. Though I'll make sure for the future games to make them more linear, focused in the story more, and with only two endings, good and bad. However, I would like to ask all of you one thing. Once the game releases in public, I would really appreciate to hear constructive criticism, so I would take notes for future improvements to not repeat the same flaws or mistakes, if you understand me. So, if I see that the game hasn't been the best experience for all of you, for example, then I would remake it once again in the future. At first, it was a demo, supposedly a birthday gift for a certain individual. But since almost 2 years ago, I've decided to make it a full game. It's still not done to this day, but I'll try to lock in and get it done someday. I can assure you that. A topic I never actually wanted to discuss in the first place, but I'll be forced to, so to, explain my side of what's actually happened. Basically, it was all fine until that day came when me and Jaiz had a private conversation. I was suspicious of his attitude, and I've tried to help him get back on his senses, although it was futile. He chose to leave me into thinking that I was his enemy, yet all I wanted was to help him snap out of whatever was affecting him. And he had thrown away 6 years of a strong friendship due to all of that. To be honest, I'm glad it happened, because we used to have countless arguments in the past. Despite, both of us at the end of the day settling those said arguments, etc, etc. I remember back in 2017 when I first contacted him on Skype, and holy shit, the nostalgia hits me, man. The internet back then was so different. Like, it still makes me feel nostalgic, though, sometimes I was willing to revisit the past, not to relive the bad memories, but the good memories, and the bad memories to stay buried as a remnant. But it's best for the past to stay behind, because we live today and we have to, to improve ourselves every day for a better future. So, Jaiz, even if you're watching this video right now, I've been watching from the shadows what you were posting from time to time, especially your vending videos. If there is one thing that I need to tell you, it's the following. And no, I'm not trying to lecture you, because I can assure you have some type of PTSD, with all due respect. Either way, let me explain to you. You perfectly knew what you signed up yourself for. You knew the danger side effects, yet for some reason you blindly chose to go along with it and keep up with the same attitude. In all my years of knowing you, man, I never understood why you were like this. Yes, we all have our ups and downs, sure, okay, that's completely understandable. But sometimes I was questioning all of that. That part of your personality. But I guess it couldn't be helped, because I had wasted a lot of energy to help you, and yeah, you and I both know how that went back then. So, for my part, I'm sorry if I was like overprotective. I admit it was wrong, but you know, because you were a brother to me, obviously, like, you know, very close friend, best friend, whatever you wanna call it. Things couldn't have gone this way if you at least had taken, you know, some of my advice into account. And no, don't get me wrong on this one, alright? I'm not trying to sound like I'm number one or, you know, someone who's never done mistakes in life. You know already of my, you know, situations in the past, like many things of what's been going on in life with me. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is that, you know, what happened in the past, it did happen. And it's best for me and you to stay separated. Like, I don't plan to try reuniting with you, as, you know, just like how you don't want to reunite with me for, I guess, understandable reasons, because after all that had happened, it's obvious. Both of us want to stay, you know, distant from the other. So, I can only wish you a good future, to stay healthy and strong, and every day to try and improve as a person. Just like how I've been doing for, you know, the past 2 years of my inactivity, and even today, like, you know, nowadays, etc., you understand me. So yeah, this is actually my goodbye to you. I hope you get some help, support, you know what I mean, and just to keep moving forward, because life is short, and sure, as you used to say, the future is, you know, like, it's unknown. In your ways of saying it, you used to say that about your future, that it was like, you know, that noise background in TVs. So if we take it with that way, then yeah, the future is actually unknown. But that doesn't mean we cannot begin from today and build up a better future, right? So yeah, goodbye and keep going in life. So, and everyone, for those, you know, back in the past that had been hurt by me because, you know, of me being very harsh or rude, etc., honestly, I'm very sorry. Like, even after, you know, me and Jaiz had, you know, separated our ways forever, I've been like, you know, I've been suffering from thoughts about all this, and I was, you know, yeah, it was a very hard time for me to overcome. But for those who have been hurt, I'm sorry. Even if it doesn't mean much, I actually mean it. You can believe me, you cannot believe me, that's your choice, but end of story. So yeah, I hope you understand. If some of you don't want, you know, to forgive me or give me a second chance, it's fine, really. You're not forced to. I can only wish you, you know, well in life and all of that. It's simple, really. First, it's the unnecessary dramas of the past. Especially that I used to defend Jaiz when he was in the wrong about the shark scream situation. That one was the most horrible experience known to man for me. And to this day, it still traumatically haunts me in some ways. I was blindfolded, I acted stubbornly even. And I remember sacrificing my whole mental health for nothing. It only had made me feel worse. The hate by some people toward me is reasonable, and I don't blame them. The second reason why I don't upload Sonic.Exe content anymore is because, you know, I've noticed over time that such content, if that's the right word to say, it began to get rusty or, you know, old, to the point that it was slowly beginning to cause me burnout and lack of desire to keep up the pace. My situation with Jaiz was the final straw, however. Even if nothing had happened between me and Jaiz, I would probably still quit making Sonic.Exe content as a whole. And no, I'm not lying, I could have quit if even nothing had happened between me and Jaiz. With that being said, please understand the decision and do not push me or beg me to come back to that content. I know guys, it's sad news to some of you, but it is what it is. People, not only people can change in life, but even their plans, goals can also alter. At least hear me out. On the bright side, you can consider my project and the future projects that I'm going to make as a gift to all of you for the support that you've given me throughout the years of my whole career. So yeah, stay tuned. I can assure you that it will be all worth it. Despite that I've explained it past posts, it's obvious I want to finish my project, and once beta testing is done and everything's done and set for the game, then I would come back. I believe if everything goes as planned, I could come back in 2027. Otherwise, worst case scenario is that maybe, for sure, in 2028. Either way, hear me out everyone, I'm going to lock in as much as I can to get this game done. Although, once I come back, keep in mind that the channel's direction in content-wise would shift. Something like, I had this plan back in the past when I was young, and I had made a second YouTube channel. Only the OGs remember that, when my channel was named Super Kostas the Hedgehog, and the second YouTube channel was called, if I remember correctly, it was called Super Kostas the Hedgehog Gaming or something. I don't remember. I guess it was something close to that. Either way, yeah, once I officially come back, that plan is happening, not to make a second channel. I will still, continue making content in this channel, and I prefer, trying, different games, not only Sonic games. Especially with this way, I wanna get back in the algorithm, because I really do miss the good old days, of when my efforts truly had paid off. You can also, suggest me what to play when the time comes, in the comment section. Until then, Master UI Kostas on YouTube is in standby mode. And finally, it's about time all of you watched a legendary animation I've made for one of the project's past versions.
Yo!
Even if it's outdated, it's going to be worth it. Trust me, the animation had taken me a year to finish because of burnout and mood swings caused by life. Otherwise, it could have been done in 2 or 3 weeks approximately. I'm not even joking.
Chef Pee-Pee? Chef Pee-Pee, please answer me.
And before we continue, I will say one more thing. My Nightmare Universe games aren't connected with CNUT at all, especially with his reboot. My games are my takes. Anyways, enjoy and hope you like the animation. So, what's a thing of it? My close friends loved it when I first shown the full version of that animation to them back in April 8th of 2024. The most insane part? That wasn't even Kostas' full power. That was the Gem Seraphim Stage 1, known as the weakest variation for a Seraphim user to use.
Let's see, the,
And yes, in my lore, Kostas is a Seraphim. Someday I'm going to make animations as chapters about my revamped lore. It will be worth the wait, especially for my upcoming project, because it includes some amount of my lore into it, and the plot for each game would thicken, making you be able to understand every piece of the puzzle. But as they say, mental health always comes first. Thank you a lot for still being around for me, even during, rough times. I can assure you that you won't regret waiting for my return. And finally, for those who are new here and are interested on what I'll be doing from now on, hit the subscribe button with notifications on. I will be making posts to be updating you of the situation and how I'm doing in general. So be sure to keep an eye out, please. Oh, and yeah, once I come back, you will get to see one more animation that this time it won't be about my project. It would be rather something related to a revamp of an old animation of mine of the past. Also, holy sh**, I've become the ultimate yapper today. What the hell? So many minutes? This is crazy.
What did you expect that was gonna happen, you idiot? It's obvious. You're the ultimate #1 yapper in the world. Kill your...
We pretend this never happened.
Are you sure?
And again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace!